Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone has had a good New Year's and Christmas and is feeling well rested and ready to get after it this year. We're going to kick things off today with a deep dive into filters. Now, filters are actually probably one of the easier concepts in music and audio processing to understand, but are without doubt one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal as a music producer. Filters essentially remove certain frequencies from the incoming audio signal. In the digital realm, this is done through mathematical equations and algorithms that manipulate the frequency content of the audio signals. And in the analog realm, this is achieved by controlling the flow of electrical energy through circuits made up of components like resistors, capacitors, and inductors, which shape the frequencies of the audio signal. Filters first appeared in the late 1920s and 30s, where low-pass filters started being used to clean up radio transmissions by removing high-frequency noise. Alongside low-pass filters which remove high-end and high-pass filters which remove low frequencies, we also have band-pass filters which allow a specific range of frequencies to pass through. Finally, there is also band-stop or notch filters which remove unwanted frequencies from a narrow band. Whilst filtering in this sense is generally a man-made process, there are many examples both in nature and in the way animals interact with our environment that create filtering-like effects. A good example of this is the way sound travels through water, where high frequencies are absorbed more quickly. This is why whale songs often sound so deep and resonant. Or the way certain species of frogs have tuned their vocals to a very specific frequency range to cut through the background noise in their environment. This is actually a great example of the way bandpass filtering can help make certain sounds stand out by focusing them into a particular frequency range. There are of course also tons of more experimental types of filters such as comb filters, formant filters, all-pass filters, or even morphing filters where we transition between multiple types of filter. What I find particularly interesting about filters is their application to music production and the different techniques that have developed over the years. One of my favourites we see used all over old school hip hop is to swap to the same sample chops but filtered in a new passage of music. This often works great in a verse section as it provides space for the rapper to come in over the music.
Boy, you might try stopping me. Boy, you might try stopping me. Nigga, you might try stopping me, but obviously, boy, you ain't thinking properly. My philosophy is to keep the shit poppin', be showing you stupid fuckers how true hip-hop should be. It's costing me sleepless nights, keeping shit tight. Peeping the madness that saddens me deeply, aight? Gentrification, a new prison administration of a black man's struggle. I'm the living interpretation.
Another classic example is to slowly modulate filter cutoff with an LFO to give some movement and natural character to a synth sound or sample. One other commonly used filter trick is to use a rhythmic LFO modulating filter cutoff to give a pumping style effect to the sound, and this works great for those dubstep, wob or wobble style bass lines.
It will not get far, the Urukai are too many.
So much death. What can men do against such reckless hate?
Right out of me. For death and glory.
One final and slightly less common trick, but a great way to bring life to sounds, is to use an envelope generator on filter cutoff to subtly move the filter in response to the incoming audio signal. What I also find particularly fascinating is the way different filters, whether they be analog or digital or hardware or software, will colour the sound in different ways with distinct qualities. And where I first noticed this, and where it's quite profound, is in the EMU E5000 Ultra hardware sampler, where I think it's more maybe the resonance than anything else in the filters, but when you sweep it around, it just sounds a little bit more musical than any of the software style filters I'd used in the past. And there is actually a free version. This amazing guy who makes Air Windows plugins, which are all free. He's emulated these Z-Plane filters on the EMU, so I'll put a link in the description and you can go and grab them and have a little test out for yourselves. Now, if you really want to level up your filtering game inside the box, my absolute favourite filter plugin for a long time now has been FilterFreak by Soundtoys, and it's so simple to use and it has an amazing UI, so I would strongly recommend checking that out. What I love about FilterFreak, as much as the actual filtering section, is these analog algorithms we can drive our signal into, giving us saturation and distortion. Well, up until quite recently, I've been more than happy to stick with the simplicity of FilterFreak and to leave some of the more experimental filtering techniques to the synth nerds and neurofunk wizards.
Ever tried sweeping a self-resonating comb filter on a guitar chord?
This, however, all changed when Polyverse very kindly sent me a copy of their new plugin Filterverse to check out. This bad boy really takes filtering to the extreme and is a super creative tool with 3 different filter sections which can all be routed and combined together to your liking. They've included 25 different filter types to choose from, which is actually insane and really a sound designer's dream. These range all the way from the more classic ones to things like ripple filters and phasing filters and comb filters. One of my favourites here, which I'm really happy they've included, is this ChebyChev type filter, which has these ripples which sound super cool when you slowly sweep them on pad layers. They've also included tons of modulation options like envelopes and LFOs, which you can very simply apply with these bars at the bottom of each parameter. What they've done really well with this plugin is actually make it pretty simple to use but still leave a huge scope for experimentation and creative sound design. Okay, so that is basically it for today, and I've got one more example to show you of one of my favourite filtering techniques, or even like a break processing technique, where you just put a bunch of plugins on your drum bus and then swap with some macros to different versions of filtering or different bits of processing to affect the drum break in different ways. It's just a really cool way of spicing up quite a simple drum loop. So I will leave you that in a second, and then I will be back in the next couple of weeks. I want to do some more stuff on the Digitac 2 this year. I can't wait to get stuck into some more artist breakdowns and things like that. So I've got loads of plans coming in soon, and I'm excited to get after it. So thank you for sticking with me throughout this video. I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you very soon in the next one. Peace.